they don't write these bills one by one for nothing. Bill C-2, C-8, and C-9 all come together to form a piece of control. Welcome to Wake Up Canada News. I'm Brad Wilder. This next article was researched and written by our contributing writer, Rich Angel. Lots to unpack with Bills C-2, C-8, and C-9, so please be patient. Now, hey, they don't write these bills one by one for nothing, do they? Bills C-2, C-8, and C-9 all come together like a piece of the puzzle. A quiet machinery of control built behind the curtain. On their own, they look like boring government talk, borders, cybersecurity, hate crimes, but when you really read them together, you see the shape of something else entirely. Now, this is the new model of governance, where they call it safety, but what they're really building is total compliance. Bill C-2 was sold to Canadians as border protection and an immigration act. They said it's, about stopping drugs, money laundering, and illegal crossings, but that's just a sugarcoating. What it really does is open the door to massive surveillance. It gives the government and law enforcement power to demand your digital information, your accounts, your connections, your movements. And they don't even need a proper warrant like before. It's written right into the bill that service agencies can ask service providers for data, and the companies have to comply. That means your cell phone provider, your email host, your bank, or even your delivery company could hand over your information if the government says so. What people don't realize is this bill ties directly to international data sharing agreements, especially with the U.S. It's like a back door that lets American agencies reach into Canadian data under the excuse of security. You might think this is only affecting criminals or terrorists, but that's always how they started out to look. Once those systems are in place, they expand. Imagine being flagged for simply visiting the wrong website, donating to the wrong cause, or attending a protest that the state doesn't approve of. Under Bill C-2, your name could be tagged, your communications monitored, and you'd never even know it happened. Then comes Bill C-8, which connects the wires and switches that make the surveillance work. It's all about controlling critical cyber systems, the infrastructure that runs the internet, electricity, finance, and transportation. The government, it now has the authority to tell telecom companies and energy providers how to run their networks, what equipment they can use, and even what data they must hand over. On paper, it's about cybersecurity, but in practice, it gives the state direct control over the pipes that carry your information. They can order a company to install a backdoor in a network, block a website, or disable certain technologies. And the company isn't even allowed to tell the public it happened. Think about that. They could cut off communication in certain regions for safety. They could throttle independent media websites or social platforms that question government narratives, all under the excuse of preventing cybersecurity threats or even hate. The same tools that are supposed to protect the grid could silence dissent. If your business runs online and you start speaking out, what happens when your servers suddenly get, flagged for risk? They flip the switch and you disappear. There goes your network. And then there's Bill C-9, the one they dressed up as compassion. The one that's combating hate. But hate is the word they use when they want to make you afraid to speak, isn't it? This bill, it expands the criminal codes so that police can lay hate-related charges without even going through the Attorney General anymore. It criminalizes symbols, speech, and even intent. The language is vague enough that, it can mean whatever they want it to mean. A protest sign, a chant, a meme, even a slogan on your t-shirt could suddenly fall under promotion of hatred. The danger here isn't the punishment of real hate. No one wants to see violence or racism spread. The danger is when the definition of hate becomes political. Imagine you're protesting government corruption and your group's logo or message is interpreted as associated with extremist movements. Suddenly, you're under investigation for promoting hate. You lose your job, your bank account freezes, all because law enforcement noticed. And your face is plastered online now as a threat. The people enforcing these laws, they won't even have to prove to you anything. You don't even have to do anything violent. Just that your message might cause harm. When you put these three bills together, you get the full picture, don't you? Bill C-2 gives them the power to see everything. Bill 8 gives them the control over the systems that carry that information. And Bill C-9 gives them the authority to punish anyone who speaks out against it. It's a three-layer system: surveillance, infrastructure, and ideology. That's how control works. Not in one move, but in stages, quietly, piece by piece, until it's normal. And here's the real danger. Once those systems are in place, there's no off switch. Governments change, but the powers stay. Maybe you trust the current one, but what happens when the next government decides to use these same laws against you? When a future administration decides certain beliefs, protests, or faiths are dangerous. That's when you realize these bills weren't written for safety, they were written for control. They can shut off your access, silence your speech, and strip you of your privacy, all legally. They call it protecting democracy while dismantling its core. Your freedom to speak, to question, to live unmonitored. This isn't about left or right politics, it's about the framework being built around us, a digital cage disguised as safety. So when they tell you these laws protect you, remember that protection and control always comes wrapped in the same language. One protects your rights, the other protects their power. And the more they say it's for your safety, the more you should be asking, who exactly are they protecting from us? These bills must be stopped from becoming law. If they do, well, you know what happens. Thanks for watching Wake Up Canada News. Please like, share, and follow us on any of your favorite socials, including Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, BitChute, and our website at wakeupcanadanews.com. Till next time, remember you're the voice, and it's time to make it count. I'm Brad Wilder, and I'll see you again soon.